Welcome back to another Attack on Titan Apocalypse Day 0 build, guys. As normal, before I get into the deck, please like the video and consider subscribing if you haven't already. It really helps me out a lot and helps spread the word of this game to people who might not have seen it yet. But today we're going over Levi Ackerman Vengeance Driven, a 6 hand size 31 health character with air and fire as his symbols and the Survey Core trait. As an enhance, he loses 1 health as a cost. This weapon attack gets plus 2 speed, and if you have less than 15 health, it also gets plus 2 damage. So at the cost of 1 health, you can get 2 speed and 2 damage if you are below half health. And as a response, at the start of the end phase, key distinction, add 1 weapon card from your card pool to your hand. So this means not only can you pick up an attack that maybe was completely blocked so you can reuse it again, but you could also pick up a weapon card you've blocked with. So technically, if you're blocking with attacks, you're not losing one of them, which is really cool. A really cool way to cycle what he wants to do. So he wants to cut himself in order to give speed and damage. He wants to kind of hold in that sweet spot of maybe 10 to 15 and just rush your rival down. And one of his best cards in getting into attacks is Timely Counterattack. This is a 3 difficulty, 3 control move with 2 speed. That's a 2 low for 3 with a 3 mid block. It's got Breaker 3 and Weapon. Breaker 3 meaning if we successfully block using this card, our rival's next check gets -3, which is huge. That can end turns. As a static, if we have fewer foundations than our rival, this attack gets +1 speed and +1 damage. So this is really good if our rival's just outbuilding us. And then as another static, if we have less health than our rival, this attack gets +1 speed and +1 damage. So if they've got even 1 more foundation than us and we are cutting ourselves properly, this can be a 4 low for 5 on a 3 diff, which is really good. And Levi can cut himself to give it even more speed, make it a 6 low for 5, or if we're below 15 health, a 6 low for 7. That is incredible on a 3 diff, and we can then pick it up at the end of our turn to block with it, which can really mess up our rival's turns, and then at the end of their turn, pick it up again and play it on our turn. We can loop Timely Counterattack and effectively put a lot of offensive and defensive pressure on our rival just with this one attack. Next we have High Speed Slice, a 3/3, 2 high for 3, and a 1 mid block with Breaker 1, Fury, and Weapon. As a blitz, we lose 2 health. This attack gets +2 speed. And if we have 15 or less health, it also gets +2 damage. So imagine we are sitting at, 17 health. We play this card. We lose the 2 to get +2/+2. Then we lose 1 with Levi to give it another +2/+2. This becomes a 6 high for 7, again, on a 3 diff. It is a 3 diff weapon with Breaker 1. His ability to loop these Breaker weapons is insane. And yes, they may not be very big early game, but getting into that late game when you've taken some damage and you've cut yourself down to that 15 health, these can be brutal to chain through. Next we have Levi's Retribution, a 5/3, 2 low for 5 with a 1 high block, Stun 2, Fury, and Weapon. Stun 2 is an enhance that says your rival must commit 2 foundations. That's pretty good. As a blitz, if your rival has 10 or less health, this attack is +4 speed, becoming a 6 low 5. Blitz, if you have 10 or less health, this attack gets +2 damage. So if you're both in that end game of 10 or less, this is a 6 low for 9 with Stun 2. And then as a final blitz, if your rival has cycled this game, you get to pick 2 rival foundations to commit. On top of your Stun 2, this is a very amazing end game card for Levi. Even if you're throwing it as like a 2 low 5, you're going to give it 2 speed. So it's a 4 low 5 with Stun 2, which can easily become a 4 low 9 with all of the health that you're paying. So a 4 low 9 with Stun 2 really isn't bad for a 5 difficulty move. And it's got that nice +1 high block. Next we have Defeating the Colossus Titan. This is going to be really impactful for Levi. A 6 difficulty, 3 control, 6 high for 6 with a 2 high block, Powerful 3, Charge, Weapon, and Fury. powerful 3 being an enhance that says spend any number of momentum, and for each momentum, you get plus 3 damage. As a blitz, lose X health. This attack gets X speed. X cannot be greater than 5. So you can instantly drain 5 of your health away to give this plus 5 damage. And then you can lose a health to give it another 2, so you can give it up to 7 damage, or 7 speed, making it a 13 high, powerful 3. And as another blitz, this attack is plus 4 damage if you have less than half of your maximum health. So if we're at 15, after paying this 5, this is an 11 high 10. Levi then pays it a 1, pays 1 health, it is a 13 high 12, before factoring in powerful. That is insane, especially following it up with like a Levi's Retribution and then a timely counter strike. You can put so much stats on the board with this character and this lineup. We have Incapacitating Strike, a 4-3, 3 mid for 5 with a 2 mid block, charge, and weapon. As a blitz, if you have 3 or more attacks in your card pool, draw 1 card. Pretty simple. And then blitz, if your rival has 8 or more foundations, draw 1 card. So this is just kind of a draw more, get more card, especially if you're doing like a string, kind of like a poke turn, just trying to generate some momentum and you get that 3rd attack, just trying to put some points on the board. You could draw up to 2 extra cards to go into your turn defensively, and then pick up one of your other attacks, maybe like a timely counter attack, in order to defend yourself on your next turn. We have Deep Sword Thrust, a 4-3, 4 mid for 4 with a 2 mid block and the weapon keyword. Response, at the start of the end phase, add this card to your momentum. So not only is it if you've played this card as an attack during the end phase, you can add it to your momentum, but also if you've played it as a block, you can add it to your momentum at the end of the turn. Very fluid motion card here that's just going to help fill stuff like you're powerful for defeating the Colossus Titan, or you're powerful on Alchemical Satchel Toss, a 4-3, 3 low for 5 with a 2 low block, powerful 2, ranged tech and weapon. As a response, after this attack is blocked, your rival commits 2 foundations. So this is a decent opener if you can put some damage on it and really force your rival to have to block it, which Levi can make this a 5 low 5, which is good, because then they'll probably have to commit some foundations to block it, and then they have to commit 2 additional foundations, which just opens the gate for Levi to throw as many stats as possible into their rival. Moving on to our non-attack cards, we have assets. We have the Survey Core, a 2-5 with a 2 high block. Enhance Commit, this attack gets plus 2 speed. If your character has the Survey Core trait, it also gets plus 2 damage. So this is just doubling up on Levi's effect, except you don't have to be at least 15 health. You can just have the Survey Core trait, which we do. So giving any attack plus 2 is really good. And defensively, Cape of No Return is just a must. It's a 3-4, 3 high block, unique keyword, meaning you can only have 1 in your stage at a time. Enhance Remove this attack from the game. Just auto deletes an attack, you don't have to worry about it, and you can just move on. And when you're already reducing your own health, defensive pieces like that are key. Next we have Filled with Doubt, a 2-5, 2 mid block. Response, after your rival plays an attack, seal it. Sealing an attack means it loses all of its abilities and cannot gain abilities, so it's really good for dealing with powerful attacks such as what's the big one? Sweeping daggers. You know, a lot of people are worried about that. Deception daggers, walk the dog. This is a great way to deal with attacks like that, so your rival doesn't get access to all of their powerful abilities. And for fun, I chose Where All Paths Converge, a 6-6, 2 mid block action. First form, so the first thing you do after drawing your cards for your turn, name a keyword, mill 5, so you discard the top 5 cards of your deck. Add all cards with the named keyword among them to your hand. So if we mill 5 weapon cards between our attacks and our foundations, we just pick up 5 cards. We just add 5 cards to our hand. That is ridiculous. Granted, since you're starting with a 6 difficulty action, you're probably not going in, but this is a good setup. Like if you're just going to poke, this is a good setup card, because then you add some cards to your hand, you play 1 or 2 attacks, you build out a little, and you keep some of those cards as a sculpted hand going into your next turn, or at least defensively into your rival's turn. Into our foundations, we have Battle Preparations, a 2/4, 3 mid-block, and the weapon keyword. Response: remove, discard 1 card. After your attack deals damage, add 1 attack with a printed difficulty of 4 or a difficulty of 4 or less from your discard pile. Now, this does not say printed difficulty, as there are some abilities that can manipulate difficulty in the discard pile, or cards that have static abilities that can manipulate their discard pile. So as long as it's a 4 difficulty move, when you go to add it to your hand, you could pick it up. Best card to pick up, Timely Counterattack, because we want to loop this as much as possible. And a lot of people might say that +3 mid-block is rough, but that's why we have Descendant of Hizuru, a 1/5 with a 2 mid-block. Enhanced Commit: if you try to block this attack with a weapon card, your block modifier becomes 0. We get a +0 mid-block with Breaker 3. Unheard of. That is absolutely ridiculous, and such a good ability to use. Next, it also has a Deadlock Enhance. Your attack just gets +1 damage. So if your rival has at least 11 foundations, every copy of Descendant of Hizuru is just free damage on every attack that you play. We have Openly Doubting, a 1/5 with a 2 high block and the Fury keyword. Response: flip. After your attack is blocked, your next attack gets +2 speed and +2 damage. So we're really loving the symmetrical stats of just giving +2/+2 to every attack that we can, and it really can put a lot of offensive pressure on your rival. We have Unexpected Reunion, a 2/5 with a 3 mid-block. First form, Sacrifice 1 foundation. The next attack you play this turn gets +2 speed and +2 damage. So again, we're stacking on a bunch of symmetrical stats. It's the first thing we do after drawing our hand, so if we're not playing Where All Paths Converge, we can just make our first attack faster and stronger. Almost no downside. We have Moment of Normalcy, a 2/5 with a 3 high block and the unique keyword. Enhanced Commit: return this attack to its printed speed or damage. So this is very good mainly for defense in Levi, because you want to make something back to printed speed so you can block it easier, or back to printed damage so you take less damage and control that rate of descent of your own health, so you can get in that sweet spot of 9 to 15 health. We have the Survey Core of Hope of Paradis, a 2/6 with a 2 mid-block and the weapon keyword. Survey Core response, which you can only use if your character has the Survey Core trait, Tenacious: after you block an attack, ready this card. Now I will say that at time of recording, I've already done my pre-release at my local game store, and I did not read this card correctly the first time I read it. I thought that was a once per turn ability. It is not. As many copies as you have of this card, as many times as you block, you can continuously ready these cards. So I made sure to flip that or destroy it as quickly as possible after I learned that little tidbit. Because can you imagine if you have 3 of these in your field, or 2 of these on your field, and each time you block you get to commit them to pass the block and then ready them instantly, and you can just keep doing that? That's ridiculous. Next we have Tinker's Touch, a 2/5 with a 2 high block and the tech keyword. Enhanced flip: remove 1 card from your discard pile. Your tech or weapon attack gets EX2, Powerful 3, or Stun 1. Stun 1 means that your rival commits a foundation. We've already explained Powerful 3, and EX2 just means as an enhance, you can spend any number of momentum, and for each one you spend, you get +2 speed. So EX guarantees your attack's going to hit, Powerful 3 guarantees your attack's going to kill, and Stun 1 just makes sure the rest of your turn's going to go smoother for the rest of your attack string. We have Mikasa Defeats the Female Titan, a 2/4 with a 3 low block. Response: flip: after you block an attack, that attack deals no damage. So regardless of whether it's a partial block, if the attack is a throw, you're not going to take any damage from it. And since we are trying to get to a low bar of health really quickly, it's really key to have some of these defensive pieces in position so we can protect ourselves once we hit that sweet spot. We have Capture the Target, a 1/5 with a 3 low block. Enhance once per turn, Tenacious. If you have 3 or more attacks in your card pool, ready this foundation. So if we string out, we can ready this up so that it's ready either to continue our string or to go into our rival's turn, so we have more defensive capabilities. We have Rifle Arm, a 2/5 with a 3 low block and the weapon keyword. Enhance Commit, this attack gets +2 or -2 speed, but if it is the only attack in its owner's card pool, it gets +3 or -3 speed instead. Very good for pushing our first attack through, or making sure our rival's first attack is very easy to deal with. Or not even first attack, if our rival has cleared cards from their card pool so that they only have 1 attack in their card pool, we can still give that attack -3. And there's a lot of card pool clearing in this set. We have Latent Skill, a 2/5 with a 2 high block. Enhance Flip, discard 2 cards, draw 2 cards. Simple card cycling, just trying to make sure that we get as many attacks as possible when we're going in for that final turn. We have Shameless Haggler, a 2/5 with a 2 low block. I just got to the part in Critical Role Campaign 1 where we met Sean Gilmore, and yeah, Vex is shameless at haggling. That was hilarious. But this is Enhance, Flip, discard 1 card, draw 1 card, and gain 2 health. Then your rival may draw 1 card and gain 2 health. If they do, you draw 1 card and gain 2 health. So if we're cutting our health down intentionally, gaining health might seem counterintuitive, but it's to keep us healthy enough to where we can take a hit if needed and still be in that sweet spot, because we don't want to just die. So this is a good way to keep ourselves a little bit of treading water while we're trying to go in. And it's more card draw. And more low blocks. Next we have Nice Try, a 2/5 with a 3 low block and the Taunt keyword. Enhance Commit, this attack gets -2 speed. Response, Tenacious, after your rival's combat phase begins, ready this foundation. So we commit it on our turn to pass checks to play attacks, and then it readies right back up on our rival's turn to help us defend ourselves. So between this, Survey Core, Hope of Paradis, and Capture the Target, we're trying to string as wide as we can and then chain block as long as we can. We have Nejire-chan of the Big 3, a 1/5 with a 2 high block. Enhance, sacrifice 1 foundation. This attack gets +1 damage. If it's blocked, we gain 1 health. So this is not only just giving us more damage, but it's even more health gain that we can obviously pay down, so we can stay in that sweet spot without putting ourselves too much at risk. And we can also sacrifice foundations to give our rival's attack plus damage in order just to gain health if we know we're going to block it. So pretty interesting card here. And lastly, Stopping for Breakfast, a 3/5 with a 3 low block and the unique keyword. Response remove, after your rival plays an ability on an action card, cancel it. And when cards like Filled with Doubt are going to be everywhere, it's probably a good idea to add Stopping for Breakfast to at least your sideboard if you are on these symbols of air, fire, and void. But that is Levi Ackerman, Vengeance Driven. I think this guy's going to be a really cool aggro character that actually plays more of a mid-game. Because you do want to, lose down to 15 health to get the maximum amount out of your character. But just being able to loop cards like Timely Counterattack, this guy's going to be somewhere between an aggro and a control deck, and it's going to be really interesting to see what people come up with. I'm kind of excited. But what do you think? What do you think of Levi? What do you think of how he's progressed throughout the 3 sets that we've had for Attack on Titan? Do you think that this kind of mixed aggro control is a cool style? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.